Okay, here's a video on the 1968 Thunderbird seatbelt reminder light. So, after a lot of research and not really finding any conclusive answers, I finally found the fuse, or the relay. Now, I don't know why this was so hard to find, but I think I just didn't know where to look. I was kind of looking here and there, but I've spent a fair bit of time looking for it and couldn't find it. Anyways, I finally found it, and I don't know, it's one of those things, it's like almost like, I don't know, bit of a corn maze or optical illusion trying to find it. Like, I looked right past it so many times and never saw it. I think part of the reason was I was expecting a really big relay, and it's actually very small. So anyways, okay, let's see. Try to make this as helpful as possible. So, looking at the steering column, you come down here, and I got a light on here. Let's see if I can get it in. So, we're on the right side of the steering column. When I look at it now, it's like, man, I don't know how I missed it. Okay, sorry about the lighting. It's kind of a little bit tight down here. All right, let's get it to focus. I think we're looking at it right there. Okay, do you see that? Trying to get the light on it, I apologize. That silver relay right there. Okay, so on the right-hand side of the steering column, there's kind of like a metal plate there. And that's a relay. It has a green and kind of like a violet blue wire going into it. So, and I wish I would have thought it. Okay, so I'm getting a little ahead of myself. But anyway, so that is where the relay is. Now you can find these not aftermarket. You can find them like new old stock, and maybe some used ones off of eBay or whatever. But thankfully mine works. So, just trying to organize my thoughts here a little bit. But basically, how this works is on earlier Thunderbirds, and this was kind of tripping me up because I couldn't find. I would search for this exact Thunderbird. Ford was notorious, and even on this car, I've witnessed it on so many things, but they were notorious for switching up their stuff, their designs, and their systems so much. You know, it's not, being a Ford guy can be frustrating at times because, you know, some of the Ford jokes are definitely true. But anyways, on the earlier Thunderbirds, the forums I could find, there's no forums that talk about the 68, 67, 68, 69 Thunderbirds for some reason. I guess people don't have interest in them really. But anyway, so the seatbelt light would be controlled through this. So I think when you drew it out, it would turn off the light somehow. Now, I was reading, some people in the forums were saying the light was not actually, like nowadays a light won't go off until you put your seatbelt on because it's a safety thing. Whereas back then, apparently, seatbelts were more of a newer thing. A lot of the majority of the public did not like seatbelts, from what I understand, from what I've read. And I don't know if some of you older people who are around in the 60s, put something in the comments like, what did you think of seatbelts? Was it annoying? Was it, what did you think of it, I guess? But anyways, what I heard is a lot of people thought it was kind of like, they didn't like the warning lights because it was like, it was as if they were being told what to do, kind of. Put your seatbelt on, right? So anyways, but basically there was a switch in the earlier Thunderbirds that would connect the ground, I think, that would turn off the light, which is, I apologize, I don't know exactly how this works yet, but somebody's probably going to correct me, but I think what happens is the ground is what actually controls the switch. I don't really understand relays very well, but what I do know is prior to finding the switch, this light here, so the nice thing is at least these are color coded. So anyways, if you have this year of Thunderbird, sorry if it's a little dark, but anyways, there's a brown, a red. The red is for the brake system, and there's 2 blues, and this goes on its own little cluster here with the windshield washer control, or like this the wiper control. So anyways, I had tested this, and it's labeled on the dash display, so that's how I knew. So it just says belts, and it's down here actually. I could show you. You see that? Belts and brakes. So that's the orientation it goes on. Anyway, so I knew that this is for the seatbelt, and also conveniently, I don't know if it's here, but somewhere on I think it's on the back bezel that actually has it labeled which color goes where to which light. So that's how I know that this is for the belts. And this is turning into a long video. But anyways, I think I'm just kind of tickled that I actually figured this out. But I had tested this light with the ignition on, and it would remain illuminated. And so actually, interestingly enough, and what I kind of deduced, I found this on some different forums because this particular relay was one of the rare things that they used on like a lot of different cars. I think like the Mustangs, and I'm referring to like the 68s, but it seems that there was a lot of tie over. So a lot of Ford cars from 68 will probably have the same relay, and I'll try to get a shot of the part number. So let's see. Basically, I kind of lost my train of thought. But anyway, so I had tested this prior to finding the relay, and there was constant power coming through the green wire. Oh yeah, I know what I was going to say. So how this relay works is it's not like modern cars. You actually have to put your seatbelt in, which will disconnect the switch and will turn off your light. But on this car, it was actually just a timed relay. So, your typical relay is basically instantaneous, or like a blinker relay, there's a slight delay as the element heats up and makes a contact. So say these are your 2 contacts. For those of you watching, probably a lot of you probably already know how relay works, but for those who don't, basically an old relay, but even newer relays, you basically have power coming in, which heats up a little metal, like a little flat piece of metal, and as it heats up, it'll either move away to break a contact or heat up to connect it. That's kind of the basic idea. But anyways, this is actually a timed relay, and how it works is it's the same system, but there's a bunch of very thin kind of copperish wire that's wrapped around it, and so that they designed it to have a certain time setting on it. So anyways, how this works is it's not actually a switch to tell you. Okay, so it doesn't stay on until you put your seatbelt on. All that this one actually does in this car, and what it was meant to do, is just be a reminder. So when you turn your ignition on, the seatbelt light would stay on for, I haven't timed it, but it's about 10 seconds, maybe a little less. So basically all it was is just like a little friendly reminder to put your seatbelt on, and then it would turn off. So anyways, I deduced that from my different research, but thankfully I finally found it, so that's where it is on the car. And the reason I think that the ground has something to do with it, and actually having a bulb, because if you don't have the bulb in, you will get constant hot to here. And so I turned the ignition on, put my test light on, and it wouldn't turn off. So I was like, okay. So I thought maybe my relay was bad, because from my research, people were saying that, well, if your relay goes bad, your light will just stay on. So I took apart my relay and put it back together. You can take them apart, and it seems to be okay, thankfully. So, but anyways, because I didn't have a bulb in here before, which I wish I had just tried that to begin with, This goes back to the thing, like, always just try the simplest thing, because I tested it, but even simpler yet, I could have just tried putting a bulb in and, tried to see what happened. But anyway, so hopefully I'm helping somebody out there not have to have as much headache. I spent like a week trying to like hunt down information on this and stuff, and it was kind of right in front of me. So anyway, so that's where the relay is. So in a moment I'll demonstrate how this works, but let's see. I don't know if I got a good shot of the relay before. Let me see if I can get my phone in here. Let's see. I do apologize. The shot might be upside down. Let's see if I can get in here. I don't even know if that will show up, but I'll read it off. So it's an Autolite, and the part number is C7AB-10B924-B1, I think. And I'm reading it upside down, so forgive me for that. It is awkward to get up there, but anyways, that's the part number. So I guess you can write that down to check. And I do apologize for my camera angle changing there. So anyways, so not a super polished video, but I know this will probably be helpful if anybody has this particular car. So I'll just demonstrate how this works. Okay, so my ignition's off right now. Let me turn my light off here. So I turn my ignition on. You can see the light comes on. And again, I don't know the exact function of this, but so yeah, so it turns off, then it comes back on momentarily, and then shuts off again. So that part I don't know. I don't know if that's supposed to be that way or if it just happens to be working that way. But it's almost like it's on, and then it does one final flash to, like another reminder before it turns off. So there you have it. Got the part number. Sorry, I don't know if you were able to see that in the video or not to make out the part number, but I can at least write that down. And there was a couple of sellers on eBay that had new old stock ones. Thankfully, this one still works. Like for me, I don't really care about it, but I think they might want it for the out of province inspection. So anyways, sorry for the terrible video quality. It's kind of late in the day, and my mind's a little like tired, so it's hard for me to form my thoughts, I guess. But anyways, I hope that was helpful, and thanks for watching.